Hi, everybody, and welcome to Love Speaks Love. I'm Denise, your host, and today's fabulous guest, or this present guest, I have another one later as well. I can't just say today, but my beautiful guest for this show is Joshua Bloom. Welcome to Love Speaks Love, sweetheart.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. We have lots to talk about.
We do. Now, just give me a second. I'm going to double check, turn my volume down on there, double check that we are live. Even though it says we are, I just want to check that it's all going well. There it is. And just share it to a couple of places as well.
Sounds good.
This is where I need an intro. This will happen soon. It's on my list. Yes, I'm really excited to be speaking to you. So we connected about 2 weeks ago and had a really beautiful conversation. And I felt your beautiful heart. And I have to say, your enthusiasm for limitlessness is super contagious. And your big heart and your love is super contagious as well. So I'm really excited for this.
Thank you. I'm excited as well.
All right, that'll do for the sharing. Okay. That's the tech stuff sorted. So, Joshua, you've been doing this and you've been quite public for a while now, for quite a couple of decades, would it be?
Yeah, quite a long time at least. Yep.
And I would love to hear a little bit about your journey and what kind of started you on this road, on this path that you're on now, and how you got here in a nutshell.
Absolutely. So it all started back when I had moved from my parents' house to move on to my own and be on my own in the Washington, D.C. area. And I moved there from New Jersey. So that was a big leap. Mm-hmm. And when I got there, I started to notice some interesting things happen, like anxiety started to show up for me. But it didn't show up a lot, but it showed up once in a while. And then it continued. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger and more difficult to deal with. And this anxiety that was showing up for me, I didn't know what it was about. So I went and learned whatever I could to resolve this issue because I didn't want to have anxiety. It felt really bad and I was scared all the time. So I decided that I would go and learn everything. So I learned at least 20 different healing modalities. And when I did that, I learned that there were certain things that were present in all of these modalities. And when I learned about what was happening in all these different modalities, I started to see patterns in how change itself happens. And I realized that lots of these modalities had things that they were asking people to do that really didn't matter. And then there were things that were really crucial that if that was out of the situation, we missed the boat. And so I learned how to create transformation. And I studied this understanding of quantum. I love the idea of quantum physics. And of course, quantum is a crazy place to experience because the rules change when you're in the quantum field versus in your regular reality. Mm-hmm. And so when you're in your regular reality, we go into what we call protection, or what Dr. Bruce Lipton would call protection. And what happens is we are in a place of fight or fight. I kind of call it on guard. You're kind of on guard, and your blood leaves your organs where all the healing happens, and it goes to your arms and your legs, and you're ready to fight or flight, right? There you go. And so when that happens, and you're in fight or flight, it's very difficult to think. It's very difficult to do anything. And so I was in that place like most of the time. That was like normal for me, right? So it was very difficult to get out of this fight or flight place for me. And learning all of these modalities was sort of like an opportunity for me to play with it a bit, because it wasn't really working for me specifically. My anxiety was not really getting better. I was kind of managing it, but I really wasn't resolving it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite uncomfortable and intense. And there were days that I wasn't even functional. So I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything. I actually remember I was featured on the front page of the Washington Post at the time. And when that happened, I realized just right after that, the anxiety got worse. And I lost all my coaching clients. My whole life started to change. I started to get scared to be alone. All of this stuff started to happen. So I went and I worked for a hypnosis center.
Mm-hmm.
I really went to them for help, actually. I said, maybe you could help me figure this out. And what ended up happening was I realized that I could help them, but they didn't know more than I did. I already had learned so much that what they knew wasn't what I needed. And although I could help them, so I started to work with their clients and helping them create changes. And I started to make some really phenomenal, life-changing, life-altering changes for people that were shocking to myself and to everybody. And the other hypnotists there, although I wasn't really doing hypnosis, I was doing my quantum thing, but the other hypnotists were wondering, why did I have so many testimonials like every week? And why were they getting them maybe like once or twice a month? And so they started to wonder, well, what was I doing? They wanted to be able to get those kind of results too. So I started to work on understanding, why was I getting these results? Because I started to deal with clients, like a man would come in, he had migraine headaches, and in one session, he stopped having them. That was it. There was a woman named Casey Craig, and she had fibromyalgia, and in 4 minutes, we were able to help her release her fibromyalgia, so she had no fibromyalgia symptoms. It was just gone. And I started to wonder, wow, what am I doing? This is good stuff, but what is it that's really causing the change? And I realized it was the jumping into the quantum field where all the rules are different, because it's not possible in the protection place. We needed to move into what Dr. Bruce Lipton calls the growth place. The growth place is when all your cells are working exactly the way that they should, where you're in alignment with the universe, where your energy is good. We've had good days and bad days, and our good days are like everything's in alignment, right? So when we're in that kind of place, we notice that we can create amazing changes, amazing results. And the thing is that we kind of accidentally get into those amazing days. They don't just show up because we say, oh, let's have an amazing day today. It's like, oh, today was just wonderful. We kind of look from behind and say, well, look at that. That was a great day. We don't really have those days on purpose. We're just lucky when they show up, right? So in this case, I was able to understand that if we first need to get into growth, like Dr. Bruce Lipton says, then my healing modality, quantum energy transformation, needs to start with that. So I had to understand, how do we get into growth? And I discovered how we do that. And then I created a way to move the energy at the cellular level of the body to create fast, if not instant change. And when we do that, it is like those good days that change your life. But so much so that even your identity can shift in that experience. And that's happened to me personally, because first I helped clients and I helped them get better. And I was noticing what I was doing through them. They were like a mirror for me or a metaphor for me, right? So I thought as they were changing, I was like, wow, if they can do it, maybe I can too. Maybe I can shift in the quantum field just like they did. But I didn't do it at first because I didn't know what I was doing, right? I didn't know that I had found something that was really powerful. And then I used it for myself, and I eliminated the anxiety. I eliminated my own migraine headaches. I eliminated attention deficit disorder. I eliminated my fear. I eliminated dyslexia. I mean, I can go on. I had a bucket of stuff. Let's just say I had my share. And so I changed my life so dramatically. I'm no longer the same person I was then.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
So if you were to, I kind of want to go deeper with this. I want to know more about it. So to take people into the quantum field, like, what do you do for that? What do you like? How?
How do you do that? That's kind of sounds like magic. So it's important to know that there really aren't any magic bullets. I say that because quantum energy transformation, my healing modality, is basically an invitation for you to get into growth and for you to start shifting and moving energy in the quantum field. So when I invite you to do that, then obviously it's your decision, your choice to say, yes, I'm coming along for the ride, or no, I'm not. And either answer is good. When you do say yes, that's when the energy moves at the cellular level of the body. And when it moves, it creates what we call a transformation. So if the energy moves from here, this shoulder to over here, for example, then just the movement from here to here is an energy movement. And because it moves, it actually causes a transformation. Now, when it releases, when it leaves the body, so let's say it moves from here to here and then leaves, when it does that, then that's called a release. But transformation happens every time, regardless if it's a release or just simply a transformation. When it's a transformation, it shifts something inside of you, so you no longer see the world the way you did before. Something has changed. Mm-hmm. When it releases, the same thing happens, except for that it's just no longer in your body. So it could live in your body in a different way, different format, or it could leave the body and say goodbye and be done. So there's no rules about it. It's okay if it releases. It's okay if it transforms, because if the body can allow it to be useful, then it transforms. If the body says, we don't really need this anymore, it releases. Now, when the release happens, a lot of times in lots of different modalities out there, people say, well, you need to replace what releases. So if you release something, you need to replace it with something else. And in quantum energy transformation, you don't need to do that, because your body is intelligent. And the intelligence of the body actually fills that space in with useful information that's going to support you. So it gets filled in, and it's done intuitively, you might say unconsciously, through your higher self and the intelligence of your cells. They know what you need, and it fills it in. So there's really nothing to do on your part, which is really great once it releases. So you don't need to try to figure it out. I'd also say that quantum energy transformation is different than anything else because it's not a technique. So a lot of people talk about techniques, or a I guess a technique is the best word. They use it as a technique. A technique is where we have a step-by-step process. First you do this, then you do that, then you do this, and you do that. So with quantum energy transformation, it's designed to work for you the way you work. It's not the other way around. Most modalities are you got to fit into this modality to work the way the modality works, or it doesn't work. That's typically how it works. This works the other way around. So it's designed so that you can use your own intuition, your own energy, any way that you choose, and you can mix up the steps. You can take out some steps, and it still works. And that's because everybody is different.
Mhm.
What you need and what I need and what everybody else needs may not be exactly the same thing. So there's a lot of play in quantum energy transformation, which I find to be great because, for example, if you engage something like hypnosis and it doesn't work, then you just have to go to something else because there's nothing in hypnosis that you can do differently if it doesn't work. You just try a new thing. With quantum energy transformation, we have lots of ways to shift it and change it in just a few minutes so that we can give you, we can see very quickly that something is either working or it's not, and we can change it right then and make it work right then for you. So what's great about that is it's different than hypnosis in the sense that in hypnosis, you normally put someone through an induction and then take them through kind of a meditation, right? For like 45 minutes. Well, I got to go 45 minutes inside of that hypnosis in order for it to know whether or not it's working for you. With quantum energy transformation, I can do it for a minute or two, see whether it's working or not, and change up right then. So it gives me a lot of flexibility differently than other modalities where I can quickly see whether something's working and then make it work for that particular person without having to wait time. So in one session, things can happen so much faster because you don't have to wait for the session to be done to get the feedback.
And when you're talking about that, so are you with your kind of empathy, your intuition, you're kind of like feeling the energy of the other person that you're working on?
Yes, I do. I'm an empath, so I feel everything. I'm very sensitive. I can feel what's happening outside the room that I'm in, or even on the street outside. I can sense things to a very heightened level. And so that can be a little overwhelming because there's so much input. And of course, I get information from everywhere. And when that information comes in, it also can be very overwhelming. So as the information comes in for me with a client, I'm able to sense whether or not that what's happening, where the energy is moving, whether it's moving or not moving, how it's moving. I get lots of different information as I work with a client. And I also teach clients to do this for themselves so that you don't have to necessarily be an empath to be able to sense your own energy
Mm-hmm.
or to know where it's moving or how it's moving or whether it's released or not.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be an empath, but many empaths work with me because they too feel the sensitivity and they too get overwhelmed by so much energy. And because I've found ways to not be overwhelmed and not be overloaded, which is definitely something that can happen when you're getting in. I mean, imagine working with a client, for example, and you're getting information from that client, but you're also feeling your own feelings. And then you're feeling what's outside the room and what's on the street and what's everywhere in the spirit world. And all this is coming at you at one time. And it's not like it gives you a break. It's not very nice necessarily. So how do you discern that? How do you work with that so it's not so overwhelming as an empath? Well, it's very simple because everything is perspective. So how you live your experience or experience that experience is based on the perspective in which you're in. If you're in a perspective that's overwhelming, it's going to be. If you're in a perspective that's very peaceful and open and light and magical, well, it's going to be that instead. So that's what I teach empaths and people who are not empaths to really get an understanding of how their energy works, how they bring in energy, how their energy moves in their body so that they can shift it and change it in ways that serve them to create fast, if not instant change, allowing them to live the life they finally want to live.
Wow. And that takes me nicely onto something that you are offering as well, which is a free gift, which is let go of overload and overwhelm.
Yes.
So how would people get hold of that that free gift?
Absolutely. Well, let me get it up here. You can go to this link, which is, oops, give me just 1 second. There it is. You can go to quantumshiftcenter.com. That's QUANTUMSHIFTCENTER.com. And when you go there, you're going to see let go of overload and overwhelm.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just opt in to get it. It's a great opportunity to engage what I call a guided connection. So you might have experienced a meditation before, more than likely you have. And a meditation is something that allows you to relax and to move, or I guess get into trance. Get into trance and allow that trance to, relax you and get you into a better state of mind. Well, a guided connection isn't about that. It's not about the trance at all. Instead, it's about moving the energy at the cellular level of the body. So it's a guided, so I'm guiding you, and it's a connection. It's getting you connected with yourself, with the universe, with your spirit guides, with your beingness, with everything that's important to you. And when you are connected, fully connected, you're in the quantum field and you're in a place where you can make change. And the change in this free gift is to release and let go of the overwhelm that's coming at you a lot. So when it gets like too much and you're like up to here or up to here with it, you can easily move that energy and create a quantum shift. And that's what this gift is about. It's an amazing experience. A guided connection, just one time can change your life, but you'll have permanent access to it. So you can change your life every day.
Now, let me just make sure I've got that right. So it's quantumshift.com. Was that right? Or was there something I've missed from there?
It is quantumshiftcenter.com.
Quantum Shift Center. And that's all one word.
Yes, it's all one word, quantumshiftcenter.com.
And TER for center.
Yes, exactly. It's the United States version of that. CENTER.
Yeah, .com. Okay, so they just put www in front of that, and then that would take them to there. And is it quite obvious when they get to there where they?
Oh yeah. It just says let go of overload and overwhelm.
Yeah.
Whole body transformation experience for empaths and intuitives. And then just click on the button that says, yes, I want free access now. Become the next transformation.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you. Now, something that I've realised that I haven't done at the beginning, and I was thinking, shall I just leave it for today? But I'm getting the nudge to do it, is joining all of our hearts together. Because one of the things about Love Speaks Love, for me, is trying to get people in their heart space more and living their life from their heart. So I think I just got so excited at the beginning that I didn't do it. So I'm going to just bring us all together now. So I'll just invite all of us to bring our awareness to our heart space, breathing in love and breathing out love. And joining all of our hearts together. Everyone watching live, everyone watching on the replay or on YouTube. And feeling that beautiful unified field of energy as we do that. And connecting our hearts now to the heart of Gaia. And feeling that beautiful, loving energy from Gaia and her gratitude. And bringing Gaia's love into our hearts. And connecting our hearts with the heart of the sun. and with the heart of Source Creator, and feeling us all together as one heart. And visualizing a beautiful grid of energy now around the planet, full of light and love. Okay.
Excellent.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And I also wanted to ask you, you have been busy writing a book, which is going to be out in January.
Yes.
Called The Answer to the Question is Inside.
No, the ultimate answer
The
is
ultimate
inside.
answer.
The ultimate answer is inside. Yes.
I love that. So you've, first of all, you produced a film as well, and this is linked to the film. This is almost like
A companion book.
Yeah, beautifully put. So yeah, tell me about these, please.
Well, I think it was around 10 years ago, Dr. Bruce Lipton, me, as well as many other amazing people like Donna Eden, James Oshman, Norm Shealy, and many others. We all got together and we made a movie. We called it The Ultimate Answer is Inside. And it also had a story. So it was very interesting because I filmed a story with actors and the whole thing. And, I'm in New York City. So that was a fun experience. At the time, it was very interesting because the theater was kind of shut down. The shows, for some reason, I don't remember the reason why, but they really weren't, actors weren't getting work at the time. So it opened up opportunities because I wasn't really paying anything for it because I didn't have money at the time to pay anybody for making the movie. The movie itself was costing me a bundle anyway, so I needed to figure out a way to do this, and I put an ad in the talent magazine in New York City, and I didn't know that it would explode so big. I used an office and I set up a system where people would come in and audition for the different parts in the movie. It was kind of fun. And when they auditioned for the movie, I didn't expect to get, I don't know, you probably saw 1,000 people that day. I mean, it was really, really crazy. And it was on the weekend, so the people that I was renting the office from, now mind you, I'm renting an office. I'm not renting a suite, just an office. And we had a waiting room, so I was utilizing that, and I was utilizing a couple other rooms. Oops. Did I do that? Yeah, I think so. And so but I didn't expect the numbers. I thought we would have one or two people sitting in a room waiting while they would come into the office, and we would, have them do their thing. We gave them a script to read and give us a little bit of their talent so we can see who we wanted to choose. And well, since we saw thousands of people on Monday, when the people who were renting this place to me, this one room that they were renting, they saw the cameras and they said, "Oh my God, what was happening over the weekend? There was 1 million people here." Well, it wasn't quite 1 million, but it was quite a lot of people. But the fun of it was amazing. I learned so much about, how to choose the right person to be in your movie. I had never done anything like this before, so it was really, really an exciting thing. And the story was written by one of my students, Vanessa Benson. She wrote the story because I didn't have time to write the story and produce the movie and be in the movie and arrange everything else. So I just asked her if she would write the story, and she said, "I'd love to write the story." So she wrote the story, and it was a fabulous experience. And now it's been 10 years. So I thought that I would get everyone together again. I said, "Reunion time." And I said to Dr. Bruce Lipton and to all the other people in the movie, and I said, "Hey, listen, what if we got together and did this again, but made a book instead of a movie?" And the value of a book is very different than what you can do in a movie. So in a movie, I pushed it. I was able to do my movie in around 2 hours. But you really can't make a movie longer than that. Nobody wants to watch a movie more than 2 hours, and even 2 hours is kind of pushing it. So I had to leave out a lot of information. I had to leave out so much really good stuff, things that Dr. Bruce Lipton said, and things that other people said, and things that I said, cut on the cutting room floor all over the place, right? Because you can only fit in what you can fit in. It's just what it is. It's the medium. So I decided that I can put information into this book that's going to give people the experience that when they read it, by the end of the book, they won't be the same person that they were when they began reading the book. And in a sense, when someone comes to see me and we work together, I do that with them, in a very short period of time. So when they come in and we deal with their, now, they don't necessarily come in, it's on Zoom or something right today, but we work together. And when we work together, we create such a transformation at the identity level that that person is no longer the same person who came in to work with me. And that kind of change is not only life-changing, but it's a dramatic experience for your brain. Because when you change so much in a short period of time, the mind has to catch up at some point. And it does, and it's so wonderful. But the book is meant to give you the philosophy, the understanding, the groundwork to quantum energy transformation so that you can create your own transformation simply by reading the book. It has such powerful information. And Dr. Bruce Lipton wrote the foreword to the book, so that's even more amazing. And what he has to share is outrageous. It's awesome. And to understand how healing actually works and how healing in the quantum field actually works is really the power of all this.
Yeah, amazing. So yeah, do let me know when that's out. So
yes, it'll be out in January, coming soon to I don't know if there's bookstores anymore, to Amazon and things like it near you. And it'll be amazing for people to jump into the quantum field with me and create the change that they've always wanted to change.
And if they wanted to see the movie in the meantime, where
actually the movie isn't available right now,
right?
Because it's a long story, but I was hacked and everything was deleted off my
wow
server. So the movie isn't available at the moment. But there are some programs that people can buy that include the movie, and we do have a version of that movie available for people through different things that they can purchase from me. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, people are asking, I noticed one of the questions before about how you actually do the quantum energy transformation. And we were going to do something together, weren't we? You were going to do a little process with me. Shall we do that now?
Absolutely. So similar to how you did that heart center experience, in quantum energy transformation, we look at the base of the spine in a very similar way, where the base of the spine is an access point to jump into the quantum field. So the base of the spine is where the tailbone is. So when you put your awareness or your attention at the base of the spine, you're actually opening up a portal into in a sense, the dimension of the quantum field. And the rules become different. So you instantly go into growth. Your body relaxes, whether you're in trance or not, doesn't matter. And you create a shift in your energy when the energy moves at the cellular level, and we do that through intention. So that's basically how the process works. So what would you like me to take you through?
Okay, so when I was about 16 or 17 and at school, I slid down the stone stairs at school and displaced my sacroiliac joint, which I've never fully kind of, I've done a lot of work with, but I've never kind of fully got to heal of that really, which has caused me a bit of a kind of like twist in my spine.
Right.
So would there be something with that you could work with?
Yeah. So one of the things that's really great is to release the incident that caused that
Mm-hmm.
experience. I find that the body is intelligent, and the body will do what it needs to do to survive, whether we like it or not, or we think it doesn't look right or it doesn't feel right or whatever. The body does what it needs to do to survive. It's a survival system.
Mm-hmm.
So in that understanding, we don't look at the body as doing something wrong. It's not right or wrong or good or bad that your body did what it did from that incident. When we clear the incident, we clear all the emotional content out, we clear all the energetic content out, we clear the things that set the body to go in the direction it was going,
Yeah.
so that as so the body now starts to respond differently, as if that event never happened. So once that happens, the body starts to balance itself out, and create a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you
Sounds
like to go
good.
through that?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. It doesn't take very long, which is really nice, but I'll guide you into your body, um, with your attention at the base of your spine,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll have you go into the incident. We'll move the energy and see where it takes us.
Do I have my eyes open or closed?
Sure. Sure. So in quantum energy transformation, there are no rules. I prefer to close my eyes because I find it more comfortable, but
Mm-hmm.
either way
I'll
works.
close.
Isn't that great though? You can work with something and it's okay if you do it this way and it's okay if you do it that way. It works anyway. So that's the cool thing. So just allow yourself to sit back and relax and take in a deep breath. And as you relax your body even more, allow yourself to take a ball in your real hands out in front of you. And in that ball, I'd love you to put love and healing and the amazing energy from your heart and the amazing energy from the universe and healing and all sorts of good stuff in there. And take that ball and put it just above the top of your head. Good. And let that ball go down into the crown of your head as it drifts down behind your eyes, passing your throat. Breathing is good. Going down and passing your heart, passing your upper stomach and lower stomach, and going down to land at the base of your spine, and taking a deep breath. And just keep your attention now where the ball is at the base of your spine. And I'd like you to go to that incident, that time when that situation happened that took you through the situation that you're in now. And notice where in your body you feel some kind of energy. Maybe it's a pulling or a tension or something that lets you know. Where do you feel that?
In my right hip.
Okay. So hips tend to be about the second chakra. This is about family. And hips also have to do, especially with the muscular skeletal about the hips has a lot to do with safety security. So we might say something around safety, around family might be something that we could consider here. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So just taking a deep breath and let it out nice and good. Yes, I love the noise. Noise is good. So do that again. And could you invite that energy in your right hip and allow it to move whichever way it wants to go? Does it want to go up or down, left or right, or just straight out of your body? Which way does it want to move?
Side to side.
Great. So allow it to move to whatever side it does, as if it were a waterfall leaving your body. Just feel it and hear it and see it and sense it just leaving easily and effortlessly without any effort on your part. Just feel it go. And when it does, just let me know.
Yeah, I felt it go down my leg and out my foot.
Good. And so I'm sensing some tension in your throat. So can you just release that? With a nice ah sound. Yes, let the energy just leave. Oh, there we go. You're good at that. Yes, oh, let's let it all out. Okay, good. It's done. It moved. So how are you feeling now?
Good.
Good. Woo. So now I'd like you to go back to that incident and see what it feels like now. What do you notice in your body when you discover that incident now?
It feels really different, and the sensation in my right hip feels really different as well. Like it feels a lot lighter around the incident, like there's no heaviness around the incident.
Right. So now let's go before the incident happened, before you knew anything was going to happen. Can you go right before it?
Yeah.
So when you go before it, you notice all the tension came back? So there's something there. The good news in quantum energy transformation, we don't have to know what it is. So just let that go. So just breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. There you go. I just let it out. Good. Oh, that felt so good. I could feel it all the way over here. All the way in New York, I can feel it. Okay, great. So that moved. So now let's go to the end of the incident. The incident already happened, and I want you to notice what you feel there. What do you notice there?
There's a bit of a feeling, I can't quite place the feeling, but almost.
Good. You don't have to place it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I can feel it too. So that just needs to leave. We don't have to know what it is. We could just say goodbye, say thank you for being there, but we don't need you now. So just breathe in and let it out. Keeping your attention at the base of your spine and just let it free. It wants to leave. It wants to be free. It doesn't want to be stuck in you. Oh, there we go. It left. Did you feel it? Woohoo! Good. It says woo. It said woo on its way out. Okay. What does that mean? I'm not sure. Anyway. Anyway, wow. Now you look totally different. And how do you feel?
Yeah, really different actually. Yeah, hard to put it into words, but I can definitely I can feel the shift.
Now, the reason it's hard to put it into words is that we're working at a much higher level than strategy. If it was strategy, then you'd be able to tell me all sorts of things about that. But since we're working at the identity and spirituality levels, which is up here in the crown chakra and the third eye, right? Working at those levels, there's very little words up there. All of it really is just energy. So when we move the energy, we're like, I don't have anything to say about that, but it definitely is different. And I get that because there's less words in those areas of change. So how are you feeling about the incident?
Yeah, pretty neutral, I would say, about the incident.
Excellent.
And I can feel what I'm feeling is a change in the energy in my sacroiliac joint. Like that's what I'm aware of in both hips and around that area. Like there's a lot more movement of energy, I would say, in that area. And all around my body, like I can feel it going down my arms differently as well, and down my legs.
Yeah. So what's really neat about this, if you look at acupuncture, for example, acupuncture is about moving the energy in a very specific way. Sometimes they call it the right way. In quantum energy transformation, we do this differently. We allow the intelligence of the body to decide which way the energy moves. So we don't even have to be intelligent. That's a good thing. But we allow the body to choose. Does it want to go up or down or left or right or some other way? Does it want to swirl out, or does it want to move in some way? And as it moves, you even notice now that your energy is already moving differently than it was before, because the pathways and energies are flowing differently, because it doesn't have the trauma stored in the body anymore. So when we have an accident, an incident, or something, whenever something happens, our body adapts. We're really good at adapting. And our body adapts to that situation. And that's a good thing in many ways, but it can create things that we don't like, because it's adapting. It's trying to figure out what to do so you survive. But if we release the problem, so to speak, the energy that's stored in there that has all the emotions, the trauma, the stuff that's from the past that's not really serving you, and we shift that energy, now the energy flows in the way it moves best through you, and it honors the new you that you've become. So in a sense, you're no longer the same person you were before we did that energy work. And we move the energy in such a way that your energy flows differently. You feel different. Your body posture is even different. It all shifts in the moment with ease.
Yeah. Yeah,
Kind of
I
fun.
can feel that. And it it just feels similar to acupuncture in a way that I can, you can feel the shift in the energy with acupuncture, and you can feel like suddenly everything whooshes. You feel that kind of whoosh of energy. And although I felt some emotion after it as well, but I could just breathe it out. Like I didn't feel like I had to embody it, like really feel it. It just felt like, yeah, this is your body just making you aware of this as it comes out.
Yeah.
I could just breathe it out. Thank you.
You're welcome. The emotions want to come out that were stuck in there. Think about it. Since this happened, how many years ago?
It's a lot of years. It's more than
Okay, a lot of
30.
years. It's been there. That emotion has been stuck there, and it left, but it left with such ease, and it left with such awareness. So it gives away, as it leaves, it gives you awareness, and you get insights. So more than likely, you're going to notice more insights and more things that show up for you. And you should also notice some changes in your body, some changes in your energy, some changes everywhere, because your body is now adapting to, oh, this incident in a sense never happened according to your body. And it's like, oh, wait, something's a little off. If this didn't happen, why is this like this? And why is that like that? And it starts to rework itself.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm going to have a little drink of water. It's just over there. But I wanted to ask you about limitlessness. And tell me what limitlessness, which is a wonderful word, what that means to you and how you work with it.
Well, I find limitless to be an amazing adventure, because in my life, there were many times I didn't feel limitless at all. I felt very trapped, very suppressed. You might say I felt very limited in my life. And when I felt so limited, limitless wasn't even a possibility, if you think of it from that perspective. So what I was able to do was start moving my energy, much like we did just now with you, and move the energy in ways that shifts the physiology of the body and shifts the energy in the body so that everything shifts. Now, when we think about being limited is not a belief. Actually, being limited is an energy. So if you think about something as being a belief, it seems like, well, if I believe that, then it's hard to change it. But if you realize it's actually not a belief, being limited has nothing to do with what you believe. It has to do with what your energy is. So you could be in the energy of limitless or the energy of limited, right? Either one, they're two different energies. And even when I say those words, limited, feel the energy of that. And now feel the energy of limitless.
Yeah.
Totally different energy, right?
Yeah.
Totally different energy. So that is an energy. So you can be in any of the two energies there and feel that way either way. Confidence is much the same way. Confidence is not a belief. It's not that you believe or not believe that you're confident. It is the energy that you've been in, or you've in some way you've chosen to be in. But all that can change simply by shifting your energy, not trying to change your belief. Trying to change your belief can work and it can take time, but belief is at a lower level of energy than shifting your energy is. So when you shift your energy, for example, at the level of who you are, then you are shifting the energy at I am limited or I am limitless. So when you shift your energy at that level, that's very different than I believe I'm limited or I believe I'm limitless. Do you see the difference in that energy? It's not at all the same. So if who you are shifts to become a person that's no longer limited and now you're limitless, then it is what it is. It's who you are. There is no changing it from that because you don't need to now that it's where you want it to be, right? So you can be that limitless person simply by starting with the idea that if you're feeling limited, you're feeling that way because you're in a limited energy. And by shifting your energy into a limitless energy, then you'll feel that instead. So it's really more about now which one do you want to feel? Do you want to feel limited or limitless? Well, obviously we know the answer to that. But imagine you're just, using your choice. I choose to be limitless, and I choose to be in the energy of limitless. And when you're feeling limited, because life happens, you can move the energy of limited, raise your energy frequency to be at limitless and live from that place instead. So when life doesn't work for you, just change it. And with quantum energy transformation, you can do that quickly and easily and in a fun way. Might as well be fun, right?
How have you used that in your life? Like examples of you being limitless?
Well, recently I had an incident myself. It was just a few weeks ago. I was in an elevator in New York, and I got stuck in it between floors. And a lot of things in my life have changed. I've changed a whole lot of things, but small spaces were definitely an issue for me. Not for short periods of time. Going in an elevator up and down and stuff is not a big deal, but not being able to get out, that's a different story. And I wouldn't say I was claustrophobic to the point where, well, let's just say I didn't know how claustrophobic I would be because it never happened. I never was stuck in an elevator before. So when I was stuck in this elevator, I realized at that moment I had a decision to make. What energy was I going to be in? Because I can't get out. That's just what is. And so what energy was I going to be in? And I was so resourceful. I surprised myself, honestly. I got into my body because when that first happens, you instantly go into fight or flight. And that's exactly what happened to me. So I had to then choose, was that going to be where I was going to be? Was I going to stay in fight or flight for, like 45 minutes? Or was I going to shift that energy into something more useful? And I shifted the energy and I got more into my body and I got into a really great confident place. And even though I didn't know what the outcome was, and I was concerned, was it going to take 3 hours for someone to get me out? Or was it going to take me, was it going to take, it took 45 minutes is what it actually took. But, this wasn't a very big elevator. This is like fits 2 people and you're done. It wasn't like one of those great big ones in New York. It was like old and small. And so when that happened, I didn't know how resourceful I was going to be, but I had to make a choice. And I did. I made the choice to be in my most resourcefulness that I could be and to get into that place of being limitless, to feeling limitless, even though I was stuck and I couldn't get out. Well, I tried different ways of getting out. Getting out wasn't working. It needed somebody who knew how to get me out. And it was an amazing experience when I got out of the elevator, because the firemen came. There were 7 firemen. I don't know why they needed so many, but 7 firemen came. They went, click, click. The door was open. And he gave me his hand. I said, I don't need your hand. Thank you. I'll step up. It was a step. I could step up myself. I'm resourceful myself, but I felt so confident. I mean, I thanked him, but I wasn't mean or anything. But I said, I'd rather get out myself because I didn't want to put myself in the victim position. I'm not a victim. I couldn't open the door, but I'm still not a victim. So I stepped out, and then he's like, well, do you want an ambulance? I'm like, no, I definitely don't want an ambulance. I like to just move throughout my day and know that I mastered this. It was like a test, right? Like the universe put me through the test. Because I always thought that I was slightly claustrophobic, where I would feel very uncomfortable because there was a time where I was scared to be alone. So that kind of goes together. I'm not scared to be alone anymore, but the claustrophobic thing kind of stayed with me for years, and I worked on it. Well, the universe was showing me you're not. You obviously can get through. You could be in this small space, and it was small, for a long period of time and be okay. And I'm like, yeah, cool. I was able to do it. So being limitless is about shifting into the energy that you choose to live your life from. Mm-hmm. And, it might go up and down a little bit here and there, but when you're choosing that and when you're moving the energy, and boy, when I was in that elevator, energy moved, I tell you that. It moved. So when I got out, I was so confident by the time it moved, like you saw how fast this worked for you. Yeah. So when I was in the elevator, I was doing this for 45 minutes. So by the time I was out, I was in like Superman mode, I felt like I had accomplished something really big in my life. And I was able to get out the elevator and feel confident rather than getting out the elevator and feeling like, oh my God, that was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. And, as I told people about this, they would say, oh my God, I don't know how I would do if I got stuck in an elevator. And I know many people have a big fear of it. And I did too. But now I know that I'll get through. So it's nice to remind myself that I'm limitless too.
What a beautiful example as well of you're in a box. Like that's quite a limited space.
It's very limited.
And you're stuck in that box. So everything externally is about as limited as you can be, really. Like that's just the perfect example of staying limitless on the inside, no matter what is actually going on around you.
Exactly. That was the learning. And, I think it's so powerful. There's always more, and there's always more to learn. So as much as I've changed in my life, I allow and accept those experiences to show up in my life so I can be more limitless and learn even more in my life as I keep moving forward. So I'm no longer getting anxiety attacks, but there's still more for me to learn. There's still more
Yeah.
for me to experience. And every experience helps me help my clients better. So it's awesome.
If you had any tips about the current energies, and because we're all quite aware we're being bombarded with energies at the moment. If you had any tips for people on navigating their way through, what would it be?
Absolutely. Right now there's a lot of different energies happening with the COVID virus. We have different people on different sides. We're kind of split up in what's right, what's wrong. In my world of quantum energy transformation, there is no right and wrong. It is what it is, and it's everybody's experience. So when we're navigating all of this, and that's not all we're navigating, by the way, there's a lot shifting and a lot changing. I think we thought at 2012 that was when that was the time, and it's like, well, that time really didn't come in 2012 as much as we thought. Now it's like this is the time that we are here, and it's a great time to be here. It's a great time to learn and explore and to understand. But we are being bombarded with lots of different energies that are shifting every second. And so one moment you're feeling one way, and another moment you're feeling another. And it's very difficult to navigate when it pushes your buttons in different ways all the time. So my recommendation for moving forward in your life is first to expect it. That I think is important. If you can expect and anticipate that you're going to be feeling differently and be emotionally triggered and get your buttons pushed differently all the time, if you expect it, then it's not going to be a shock. So just knowing that itself is a really big help. Say, hey, great, I wonder what energies are going to move the waves today, right? So you can allowing is a really big tool. Allow the energies to move through you. So I tell people this when it comes to microwaves and stuff. I'm not really a fan of the microwave. And when people use the microwaves actually leave the microwave and move into you. So if you're standing right in front of your microwave, the microwaves go into your energy, into your body, and that's not a good thing. But here's the thing. When you relax and open, the energies move through you. The microwave energies move through you. Same thing happens with your cell phone, by the way. That's really no different. Microwave energy, cell phone energy, same kind of thing. So the energy moves through you rather than get stuck in you. So if you are tense and closed, well, then when you're standing in front of the microwave, that could even be dangerous, because now that energy doesn't move through you, it gets stuck in you. And then you do it over and over and over again. And now your bunch of microwave energy is definitely affecting you in a big way. So when energies affect you, no matter where they come from or no matter what kind of energy it is, opening to allow it to move through you is the best way to maneuver through the universe at this time. And it seems opposite of what we do, because I think I call this a quantum opposite. What a quantum opposite is, it serves you better to do the thing you think you shouldn't do. So that's a quantum opposite. So the quantum opposite is open and relax. When you think protect, right? It's open and relax, let the energy move through you, and it doesn't last inside of you. So when the energy comes up and it pushes a button of anxiety, or pushes a button of depression, or pushes a button, because it's going to push a lot of buttons, and it's going to push them frequently throughout the day. If you allow yourself to be aware and you allow the energy to leave every time it happens, then you won't have any buttons to push. So there's the key. So when these energies come up, which would normally push your buttons, if you've already moved the energy, then it's just energy. Because energy is just energy. It's just that. So allow yourself to eliminate by releasing your buttons, and then how you react turns into a response and not a reaction. And your life maneuvers quite differently. So play with that and see where it takes you.
Yeah, and I felt the playfulness in your response as well. Like that's so key. And I could really feel as you were talking about it, like the contraction of the defense and just owning to it and the
Yes.
the difference that that makes. Like you can just yeah feel it moving on through.
Well, then
Amazing.
people say, like if you open up to a negative energy, they're like, well, it's going to get me, it's going to hurt me. It's actually the opposite. It's not going to get you and hurt you. You are a strong being, much more than you think you are. And when you open up to it and let it move through you and out of you, then it's no longer affecting you. So it's not opening up to accept it, it's opening up to let it pass through. So when you're in charge of your energy, and that's another thing to be, being in charge of your energy is a good thing. Then what comes in, you choose to let it out. No one else does. I'm not going to take this energy. Out it goes. And that's your choice. That's where your power comes in. Not in the blocking it or,
Yeah.
don't do that, or victim place. It's open up, let it be, let it out. It's okay.
Oh, this time has flown. It is 15:55 as I look at the clock now with all
Wow.
the fives. Um, where can people get hold of you, Joshua? If what kind of yeah, what contact details would you like to give out? Your website, presumably.
Sure. Well, my website is quantumhealingcenter.com. And if you just go to that, quantumhealingcenter.com. And also, if you just have a question for me about anything, feel free to email me. You can email me at help
Mm-hmm.
at beingquantum.com. That's BEING, quantum, QUANTUM.com. So that's help at beingquantum.com. And I'll answer your question and I'll help you move forward. If you have any questions, let's work on it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It,
you.
and I kind of just want to bring us all back to our heart space. And you might feel a difference in your field. And breathing in love and out love. And thank you also to everybody who's been watching live or on the replay or on YouTube. And yeah, beautiful to chat with you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
I've very much enjoyed it. We just had a great conversation.
All right, I shall stop the live. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in a few hours. I think 5 o'clock. Yeah, time's not quite working for me, but in just over an hour.